I would like to invite everybody to join the debate of the APPNA elections for the year 2020. It has been my honor and my privilege to be asked to be the moderator of this debate session, and I hope and pray that everybody does well, and best wishes to the candidate. I will start initially by requesting Dr. Nahid Usmani, who is the president of APPNA, to say a few words if she's online.
She'll be joining in a minute.
Why don't I take the mic for a second, Dr. Sama Zafar?
Dr. Ashraf Sabat is currently leading the NEC, and Dr. Ruhaf Zafridi is also online. But Dr. Ashraf Sabat, can you please say a few words and give some details to the candidates and the membership? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. I am today representing APPNA's nomination and election committee in Dr. Afridi's absence. Dr. Afridi is the chair of this committee, and we have 6 members on the committee. Dr. Taj Khan, Dr. Najib Rahman, Dr. Humaira Ali, Dr. Naseem Sheikh, and Dr. Ghazala Hayat, and myself. So today we have the honor that Dr. Sama Zafar is moderating this Zoom meeting. This is a new format of APPNA debate. In the past, we had these debates live. So today, today I will I'll hand over the mic to Dr. Saima Zafar, so she can actually explain the TORs quickly to all the candidates and any other instructions. And then once Dr. Usmani will come over, as Dr. Saima Zafar said, she will say a few words. So please, Dr. Saima Zafar, please take the charge. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraf Sabat. Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to just give a brief review of the sort of the TORs or the organization of this debate as it's going to be. So first of all, it's going to be conducted in such a way that we will have the president-elect candidates present themselves for the debate. Initially, each candidate will be asked questions in an alphabetical, so it'll be in alphabetical order. So in other words, for the president-elect candidate, it will be Dr. Harun Durrani first, and Dr. Aftab Khan, and then Dr. Shahid Rashid. Each candidate will be asked 3 questions each, but they will be in order. And the questions will require an answer, which will be 3 minutes in duration. Once the candidate answers the question, the other 2 candidates will have 1 minute to give their version of the answer as well. And then we will rotate back with each one of them. The next thing would be the questions to the treasurers. And the treasurer candidates will have, again, the alphabetical order. They will have the 3 minutes to answer the questions, but they will have 2 questions each. So 3 minutes for the president-elect candidates, and 3 questions for the president-elect candidates and 2 questions for the treasurer candidate. Again, each candidate will get 1 minute to give their version of the answer once the answeree of the question has completed their answer. Lastly, at the end of the debate, there will be 2 minutes closing statements, and that will be in the reverse alphabetical order. I did forget to mention that each candidate in the beginning, in alphabetical order, an opening statement. Walaikum assalam. So basically, that is how it will start, with the opening statements, then the questions, and then at the end, there will be a closing statements. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
We are good.
Assalamu alaikum.
Dr. Nahid Usmani, assalamu alaikum. Please, thank you for coming, and please say a few words to our candidates, and it's a pleasure to have you online.
And thank you, Dr. Zafar. We are so grateful that you are moderating this great tradition that APPNA has. So dear APPNA members, it is my pleasure as president to welcome you to this great APPNA democratic tradition of candidate debates. You know, we all wish that these debates had taken place in the summer meeting where it could have been in person, but we have to do what we can. So I think in spite of COVID, APPNA is succeeding. We have been true to APPNA's core mission this year. We have raised over $1 million of philanthropy. We have done effective advocacy for the young physician residents to get their visas. We have had amazing educational seminars on COVID, both in US and in Pakistan. Our cornea transplant program is going well. So I'm really personally looking forward to all our candidates to hear from them.
And I cannot hear it.
See how they will strengthen APPNA if elected and how they will build on APPNA's achievement while issuing and tackling difficult challenges that APPNA must address. So APPNA's current candidates bring tremendous diversity in this election. The 3 candidates for president-elect hail from East, Midwest, and Southwest of US and from different medical schools and regions. All 3 bring the experience of having served on APPNA's executive committee. So they are all experienced. Our 2 candidates for treasurer bring gender and US graduate diversity, again, 2 important components in our future leadership. The secretary's position is uncontested, ensuring continuity and bringing our Khyber alumni representation to the executive committee. So I hope we will have an amiable, amicable, and informative debate today. And may APPNA thrive in 2021 and beyond under its elected leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your time and all your kind words. It's very nice of you. I would like to point out that the questions that are going to be asked were actually sent in by the membership to the APPNA office, and then they were sent over to the Nomination and Election Committee. 2 members of the Nomination and Election Committee, very kindly Dr. Humaira Ali and Dr. Najib Rahman, went through the questions and then basically selected the ones that they felt would be best and most appropriate to be asked to the candidates. The questions were sent over to me late this morning, and I have now put them together so that we can ask the candidates. So that's where the questions are coming from. They're all from the membership. And I must say I'm very impressed how involved the membership is, because they really have some very good questions. So having said all that, what I'll do is I'll get started. Dr. Harun Durrani, if you could kindly get started and unmute yourself, please. If the president-elect candidates can all unmute themselves. Sorry. Let me just go through that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, dear fellow APPNA members. I would like to thank NEC chair and members for organizing this debate. Special thanks to Dr. Saima Zafar for moderating it, and also thanks to Dr. Aftab Khan and Shahid Rashid for participating in the democratic process. I stand here today on my record of services to APPNA and my track of fulfilled promises that I made last year as a candidate for APPNA's secretary. Last year was marred by unprecedented infighting and polarization in APPNA, and I promise that I will bring back civility in APPNA. I pledge to you that my top priority will be to settle all litigations involving APPNA. I made a promise to put an end to the continued financial bleeding of APPNA due to these litigations. Soon after being elected as your secretary, even before starting my tenure, in an effort to bring all sides together, I invited all the stakeholders of 2020, including the executive committee and board of trustees members, to a retreat at my house in November 2019. It was a good meeting, and we came with a unified plan to move APPNA forward. Around the same time, a strong petition being moved to recall 2019 president-elect that had the potential to further divide the membership. I, along with Dr. Rizwan Khalid, and after many conversations with the petitioners, we were able to thwart the threat to APPNA structure. We were able to settle all ongoing litigations involving APPNA and put an end to the ongoing financial loss of APPNA. I stand here today on my track record of services to APPNA. Despite the disastrous global pandemic, I, along with my colleagues, we were able to raise over $1 million to further the APPNA philanthropics mission, organized and moderated multiple APPNA community webinars, and hosted first ever APPNA fundraiser telethon that raised $200,000 in a span of just 2 hours, thanks to the generosity of our membership. We also started the process for a comprehensive overhaul of APPNA bylaws to make it align with the Illinois rule of non-for-profit organization. New bylaws will include a robust internal conflict resolution mechanism with a third-party arbitration as needed. I can list a lot of other things that we were able to achieve this year, but the biggest achievement I would like to take some credit for is my humble and honest effort to bring back some harmony and civility in APPNA. Some differences will always be there, and I firmly believe that diversity should be a source of strength and not divisions. But this will happen only when we learn to put the interests of our mother organization ahead of our own, when we learn to resolve our differences through dialogue and not by lawsuits. APPNA will move forward only when we all join hands together. I urge you to recognize the potential of APPNA and help achieve this potential. Thank you for your time and your trust in me.
Thank you very much. That was 3 minutes. Thank you very much, Dr. Harun Durrani. Dr. Aftab Khan, can you please give us your 3 minutes of opening statement?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There are 2 choices in life. My name is Dr. Aftab Khan. I'm a graduate of King Edward Medical University, candidate for President-elect. I completed more than 500 hours of community service in APPNA free medical clinics and twice I received APPNA's Volunteer Physician of the Year award. Working as a trainer last year, I brought financial transparency by and posting quarterly financial reports on the website. This year, I'm the only presidential candidate who has never conceded on behalf of APPNA. Recently, APPNA Executive Committee has conceded on behalf of APPNA in Bari versus lawsuit without membership notification and consult. The Untitled Chapter of APPNA Executive Committee has resulted in filing of multiple lawsuits by APPNA members, resulting in huge financial crisis. APPNA is the most Pakistani physician organization. This year alone, APPNA has raised more than $1 million for COVID-related projects. There is a complete lack of trust and transparency in APPNA that has resulted in multiple lawsuits. Membership voted and approved Board of Trustees changes were reversed by current EC without membership notification. Meetings were conducted without proper planning and budgeting, resulting in huge financial losses. Our membership is decreasing, our revenue is declining, and we do not have enough funds left in APPNA office to run our business on a current basis. Special assessment has been imposed on APPNA membership. At the same time, membership revenue and lines of credits are being used to pay off litigation expenses. This abuse of power must be stopped. This abuse of membership must be stopped. My friends, if elected, I as the president will increase the number of board of trustees and take this organization out of the hands of the few. It should give an opportunity to all the members, and especially the members belonging to smaller alumni, to become part of APPNA leadership. I will increase APPNA revenue by establishing a dedicated fundraising desk in APPNA office to explore the sources of income. I will increase APPNA membership by lowering lifetime membership dues. I will establish an APPNA office escrow fund to ensure its continued functioning. My friends, if elected, I as a president will never concede on behalf of APPNA. I as a president will cancel the membership of those who will try to sue APPNA. My friends, the time has come. The time has come to change the leadership of APPNA. The time has come to elect Dr. Aftab Khan as the next president of APPNA. The time has come to forgive and forget our differences, hold our hands together, work together, and make APPNA even better. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Aftab Khan. That was 3 minutes. I appreciate your time. Dr. Shahid Rashid, please bring up your 3 minutes opening statements. We'll appreciate your words.
My dear APPNA family, Assalamu alaikum. I know of no honor that has humbled and fulfilled me more than serving this esteemed organization. My sincerest offer to you is this: I shall seek to bring about an organization defined by hope, optimism, progress, excellence, and sheer unbridled exuberance. We face now unprecedented challenges. As such, we require unprecedented leadership and vision to light the way forward in the months and years to come. In this very darkest of moments, I see countless openings to let in the light. The most important and urgent challenge which needs our attention for our survival is our financial viability. The pandemic has dried up our only and the most dependable sources of income: national meetings and international trips, leaving us uncertain as to how we will pay our bills and survive. To address these financial challenges and to coexist with the pandemic, I propose the following Survive and Thrive initiatives. Most of our members have established private medical practices, which provide us with an opportunity to utilize these resources without any investment. We can offer medical billing, medical supplies, and other related services at a fraction of the cost to our members. We can also offer teleradiology, locum tenens, and the APPNA television network to enhance our revenue streams. These projects can be launched within weeks with very minimal investments. For our future revenue stream strategies, we can go on to make our own surgery centers, endoscopy suites, outpatient cardiac cath labs, and diagnostic imaging centers to which our members can bring their cases, generating millions of dollars in facility fees. The possibilities are endless. Please note that whatever financial initiatives I have proposed are now in action in McAllen, Texas. There, not long ago, we launched a surgery center, and now we have a state-of-the-art medical center and our own medical school. These initiatives can easily be realized by empowering our chapters through decentralization, which will increase grassroots involvement, usher in a sense of shared ownership, cultivate a sense of shared leadership, and foster a state of harmony that will in turn only strengthen the organization's center. These innovative initiatives, among many others, will provide a new perspective to the mission of our organization and will attract our fellow physicians who are sitting on the fence as to whether or not they should be a part of this great organization.
Thank you, Dr. Shahid
As
Rashid.
it will grant a purpose and meaning to their affiliation with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shahid Rashid. I appreciate your words. We will start this question and answer session now. My first question will be to Dr. Haroon Durrani. Dr. Durrani, if there is a real threat of any legal action, should the executive committee decide on its own, or the council members should be involved or consulted in the final decision?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Dr. Salma Zafar. This culture of lawsuit in APPNA has really taken a toll. Litigation, I think it is, it's a right, and nobody can take that right. But what we have to do is, we have to create an environment within the organization that this does not happen. I mean, we have to have robust internal conflict resolution mechanism which will prevent that. And there was a lot of static, and I did not hear correctly. Dr. Aftab Khan just heard just very briefly. So basically, he's saying that he will take away the membership if somebody sues. President does not have or does not own the membership to cancel or revoke. I mean, if for 1 second, if we even believe that he has that power, what he's going to do with his own membership. So important thing is we have to follow it. The system has to be fair. If we are able to take care of the grievances of the people, within the organization, that will absolutely prevent. I mean, our bylaws have a lot of loopholes and ambiguities. Over a period of time, the presidents have came and they have made patches to the constitution. And people are able to interpret their own constitution or the bylaws the way they want to do it. And this has been one of the most important reasons. So important thing, we should take care of the bylaws. And that is what is happening right now. We need to remove all the ambiguities. We need to basically take loopholes all. We need to change governance structure, and we have to put clear-cut things in the constitution which will answer the grievances. I mean, we go and apply for a credit card, and on the back page, there is all these fine lines, and it says that any conflict will have to be resolved internally. And if not resolved internally, then you have to go through third-party arbitration. Why can't we do that? We have to make this, I mean, we are not going to eliminate 100%, but we can decrease it to the as minimum as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harun Durrani. Dr. Aftab Khan, you have 1 minute to give your response to this question. And I'll repeat the question. If there is a real threat of any legal action, should the executive committee decide on its own, or the council members should be involved or consulted in the final decision?
Thank you very much. I think that my take is very clear and simple, that executive committee has no authority in deciding that who is going to sue or is not going to sue APPNA. Currently, at present situation, what needs to be done is that executive committee must consult council, take their opinion, and then decide who should be allowed to sue or not to sue APPNA. In the meantime, you have seen that cable committee, ethics and grievance committee, they need to be free and independently functioning committee of APPNA. We have a recent good example of election and nomination committee. Before the elections, we always sign a paper that we will abide by the rules of election and nomination committee, and we will resolve all our conflicts internally, and will not, and their decision will be final. I really believe that if every member of APPNA signed that paper, where all lawsuits will be resolved, and the money that we waste on lawsuits will decrease.
Thank you, Dr.
So internal conflict resolution committee should be established and more functional.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Shahid Rashid, I'll repeat the question for you. If there is a real threat of any legal action, should the executive committee decide on its own, or should the council members be involved or consulted in the final decision?
Thank you very much. As far as any litigation threat is imminent, we have a mechanism in place. We have our internal structure. But unfortunately, those committees like the Ethics and Grievance Committee has been, they have to have a decision-making power, and they should be above any bias, and they should address the grievances. And the council has a different role to play as compared to the executive committee, so that these issues has to be decided within that framework that we have. The litigations are only as the result of injustices and all those the matters which has not been properly addressed, like the stonewalling of the information which has not been given to the membership. Just like that, you can see that I have asked for like 4 or 5 times the office to provide me with the invoices and the contracts of the lawyers, and till date that has not been given to us. The reason is that because the system is so unfair.
We appreciate it. I really appreciate your answer. It's 1 minute's up. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next question. The next question will go to Dr. Aftab Khan, again going in alphabetical order. And then he will get 3 minutes to respond to this question, following which a 1 minute response from Dr. Harun Durrani and Dr. Shahid Rashid. Dr. Aftab Khan, the question is, as a candidate, what is your stand regarding the use of social media as a battleground for APPNA elections, and what would be your proposal on the fair use of social media?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. We live in a very fair, open and fair society in which the social media is the right of every individual. But the way it is used in APPNA elections is quite unfair. I've been subject to many negative campaign ads, many personal attacks, and attacks have been not only to my personality, but also on my profession and sometimes on my family. Unfortunately, some attacks are even done by Dr. Thorani, friends and other associates, and some of them are very unfortunate, are coming from APPNA Alliance also. I really believe that these attacks need to be stopped. Character assassination of the members should not be done. You do have a right to express your views, but you should express them nicely and decently. As far as APPNA elections are considered, I think we can do many improvements and we can use social media in a more positive way. We should conduct our elections just like we do in American Medical Association and American College of Physicians. All the documents, all the bio should be sent to APPNA office, and then they should send information to the membership. Social media should be used as little as possible. At present, I think it has become a site of harassment to individuals and the candidates, and sometimes it becomes really embarrassing that what you hear and see on the social media. So my recommendations are use of social media should be as little as possible. And I will give you one example. One of the alliance member has even compared me to a Hitler. So that is so sad. I think we should leave the alliance separate. We should use social media in a conservative way, in a proper way, to propagate the positive thing that the candidates have done and avoid negative campaigning on the social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aftab Khan. Dr. Harun Durrani, what would be your response to that? Please give 1 minute to this and I will repeat the question. As a candidate, what is your stand regarding the use of social media as a battleground for APPNA elections, and what would be your proposal on the fair use of social media?
Well, I think there should be zero tolerance for negative campaigning. And I just heard Aftab Khan, and some of his comments were posthumous statements. I mean, here is an example. This is one of his supporters asking me that, Dr. Durrani, did you authorize to release 26,500 from APPNA line of credit to Dr. Naseem Shekhani to pay his personal bill? I mean, this is just unbelievable. The barrage of negative campaigning and character assassination being done by supporters of Aftab Khan, Dr. Aftab Khan. This is the TRO statement. And look at this. This is Aftab Khan in 2019. He's the one who sanctioned to pay bills from both sides of the legal bills from both sides. I mean, I have many times put statement on the Facebook asking my supporter who wanted to basically reply to them, and I said, don't. And Aftab Khan not once has asked his supporter to refrain from negative campaigning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Durrani. Dr. Shahid Rashid, I will ask the same question to you. As a candidate, what is your stand regarding the use of social media as a battleground for APPNA elections, and what would be your proposal on the fair use of social media?
Thank you very much. First of all, the social media is not the place for us to express that what we are going to do, because what I have seen recently, the both of these candidates, unfortunately, they have been fighting like crazy on the social media. They have been doing the character assassination. They were mutilating either those pictures, and Dr. Durrani's supporter, they have sent the videos of some outsiders defaming and calling names to our president or other the candidates. That's very, very unfortunate. It's not to be done that manner. And now talking about that, you know, someone was mentioning about Hitler. This is the image of the APPNA which has been tarnished. This is an election. We are here, all colleagues. We have to be the most civil person of this organization instead of just we are trying to do the character assassination of each other. To me, the social media has to be done in a very judicial manner, just to bring up the good things of the organization, not to humiliate the members.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shahid Rashid. Next question will go to Dr. Shahid Rashid. He will respond for 3 minutes and then 1 minute each for Dr. Harun Durrani and Dr. Aftab Khan. Dr. Shahid Rashid, how would you improve governance of APPNA, and how do you foresee improving the process of effective conflict resolution in APPNA, especially in the light of the flurry of lawsuits in recent years against APPNA?
Thank you very much. The governance is one of the most the problem areas right now we are facing. We have broken governance where there is you could see that the board of trustee and the executive committee member, they are to each other's necks, and they have not been following the constitution, bylaws, and the democratic the values of this organization. The thing is that in order for us to have the governance, we have to have the independent committees. Like there has to be an independent committee for the ethics and grievance with the decision-making the powers. We should have the independent committee for the election and nomination committee and the membership committee, because these has to be independent, just like that we have the independent judiciary, the executive and the legislative, the pillars in the government, so that they could be able to function in a very timely manner. But otherwise, what about the conflict resolution within the organization? Yes, we have to have, when these committees are independent, they'll be able to function in a better way, and so the justice will be served within the organization, so that we shouldn't have to go outside to seek the justice. That happened in my case. I have been stonewalled. I have not been given an opportunity, and then my name was tarnished all over, and the false reports were filed with the FBI and the police and everything. And I asked this organization for the last 2 years to clear my name, that I was not involved in anything. And after 2 years, they apologized to me, and they said that the harm was done, and they said that it was wrong what they have done to me. So this is why that happened, because there was a broken governance structure within the organization, and they didn't follow its constitution and its bylaws. And there are only few members of the organization. They have been controlling it, and they have been just doing the things whatever they felt like. There has to be an accountability. There has to be a system that we must uphold the constitution and its bylaws, and that can only and only happen when we have the independent ethics and grievances committee. We have the independent nomination and election committee, and we have the independent the membership committee, so that all these things should be done without the interference of the executive committee. My elections were interfered with previously by the executive committee members, and I have been put through all this, the defamatory things all over the social media, and the emails have been sent to all the members of the organization. That was very unfortunate. And in order for us to work as a civil, as a non-profit, and as a democratic institution, we must adhere to our constitution, our bylaws, and we must listen to the grievances of everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shahid Rashid. Dr. Harun Durrani, I will rephrase this. I will say this question, and then if you can respond for 1 minute. How would you improve governance of APPNA, and how do you foresee improving the process of effective conflict resolution in APPNA, especially in the light of the flurry of lawsuits in recent years against APPNA?
Thank you very much for that question. I think this is the core question which we are facing. I mean, so many lawsuits in the last 4 or 5 years, $550,000 paid to attorneys. I mean, this is ridiculous for a professional organization. I think one of the main reasons is our governance structure, which absolutely need to be changed. I mean, our governance structure needs to mirror federal and Illinois state law. And it has to mirror the large similar organization like ours. I mean, this is a professional organization, and we need to run it like a professional. Most important thing is there has to be a robust internal conflict resolution mechanism with third-party arbitration. We have to do everything within our own organization to stop these frivolous lawsuits. I mean, we have to take care of the grievances which people have, and only then we will be able to stop that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harun Durrani. Dr. Aftab Khan, I will state the question again. How would you improve governance of APPNA, and how do you foresee improving the process of effective conflict resolution in APPNA, especially in the light of the flurry of lawsuits in recent years against APPNA?
Thank you very much. Let me answer the question that was raised by Dr. Durrani. He showed a paper that TRO was signed. This is the correct paper. He must have shown this paper also, please. This was the later on paper that I sent to everybody. Please read it carefully. So he has done the same thing. He said initially all lawsuits are gone. All attorneys are gone. He's just making another misstatement that is very unfortunate to get some votes. As far as the governance structure is considered, I really believe that we have bylaws and constitution existing that need to be followed. We have a structure that says that go to council and ethics and grievance committee that needs to be followed. Our ethics and grievance committee, cable committee, election and bylaws committee has to be independent and free and should be elected for 5 years, not for 1 year by the president or board of trustees. Once we have these 3 freestanding committees, I'm 100% sure that our behavior will change and our
Thank you, Dr. Aftab.
all file any lawsuits.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your answer. We'll now go to the next round of questions to the president-elect candidates, which will start off with Dr. Haroon Durrani. Dr. Haroon Durrani, what would you do further to, Dr. Haroon Durrani, should there be an APPNA Medical University, and what are the pros and cons of such an endeavor?
Well, that is a very good question. Yes, APPNA, this is what the core mission of APPNA should be, have a medical university. We should even have an APPNA hospital in Pakistan, where we could have these training sessions for our young physicians and impart all the technical know-how which is available in the United States. We need to take it to Pakistan. But this cannot happen in the current circumstances. I mean, how can we are not able to resolve our pettiest issues within the organization, and we are thinking about opening in universities and hospitals? We need to fix our house first. We need to fix it for good, and then yes, university and hospitals.
Thank you very much. That was less than a minute. I appreciate your answer. Dr. Aftab Khan, I will state the question to you again. Should there be an APPNA Medical University, and what are the pros and cons of such an endeavor? So that
I think everybody, thank you very much. I will recommend every candidate who participates to become a leader of APPNA should read this book named Global Best Practices by Ms. Cagney. It will give you a good idea what a good leader should do, what good leader should plan, and what are the pros and consequences of taking any step in the future. All these projects that are opening an APPNA hospital, opening an APPNA university are the long-range projects. Presidents and board of trustees can have an input in it, but an independent long-range committee should decide what is good for APPNA, what needs to be done for APPNA in the future. It has been done, a basic workup has been done to open APPNA University in the past. I was a member of it. It needs about $80 to $100 million to start an APPNA University. We do not have enough funds at present time. I think we should keep in mind for the future, but at present time, just take baby steps and do whatever we can as a charity work and to improve CME and guidance of our members.
Thank you so much. Dr.
Thank
Shahid,
you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The APPNA University has always been my passion, and I have the roadmap for that. And I have stated earlier in my speech that right here in McAllen, Texas, we started the surgery center. From there, we went to the medical center, and now we have the medical school here. It's possible. The thing is that why these things are not happening, because that we are not letting the process of the democracy to go forward. You could see recently what has happened to all the amendments which has been approved by the general body were just reversed by a signature of 4 executive committee members. These are the unfortunate situations where the governance is the primary and the important role. And yes, I have done these things, and we can do this thing. I propose that we can start with the medical university in Caribbean. We can bring that thing here. And I was the part of that medical school, the project which we were supposed to do in Montana. When I was the treasurer and the secretary, during my tenure, when we can make the APPNA house in Chicago, APPNA School of Public Health in Karachi, is possible here in the United States. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, I'll move on to the next question, which goes to Dr. Aftab Khan. Dr. Aftab Khan, would you consider that a successful candidate should take a certification course for the management of the nonprofit organization?
As I said before, that every candidate who wants to be a leader of APPNA should take courses attend classes, and read a book called Global Best Practices by Ms. Cagney. Without an understanding of the principles of not-for-profit organizations, NGOs, and other community things that we do, I think a leader cannot perform his duties according to the principles and bylaws that are that are written to run the organization, and also according to the 501c3 principles and bylaws of the United States and Illinois. As I mentioned before, I'll give you an example that this year in January, APPNA Executive Committee, the 4 executive members have given $26,500, and Dr. Durrani was part of it, who has given this money without consulting the membership, without consulting the council, to Dr. Shekhani, and that is very clear violation of APPNA 501c3 organization rules and regulations. Nobody has the authority to give money to family and friends to take care of their personal business. This needs to be accounted for, and this will be accounted for in the future. Until and unless you are trained in running the organization, you have taken courses, you have taken CME classes, I think that there is always a room for improvement for everybody. I have taken many courses, many classes, I've read many books to run the organization. I have run many successful businesses, 2 charity hospitals, 1 best practice, 1 health club, and I have raised money for Indus Hospital. I have raised money for Chicago chapter. Chicago chapter, I have made the only chapter in the history of APPNA that has an asset of $500,000. And now we do have income coming from that asset, more close to $100,000. And we do not have to ask for membership for any money to run our PPS chapter. I'll bring the same principles of raising money, same principle of the use of money, stop the misappropriation of money, stop giving money to my friends and family. That is where I stand. I stand for the principles, and I will continue to stand for the principles, even if I have to stand alone. I will not allow anybody, even if he's a member of executive committee, board of trustees, to use the membership money for his benefits of his friends and families. That needs to be stopped. And we need to follow the principles which are written in Illinois and also United States for the not-for-profit organization to run these organizations according to them. I'll stop here.
Thank you so much. Dr. Haroon Durrani, I will now state the question again. Would you consider that a successful candidate should take a certification course for the management of the nonprofit organization? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, I think this is a very important question, and it will be very beneficial not only to the organization, but for my personal professional capacity as well. I have been looking into several courses. There's a website called EDX. It's Harvard and MIT professionals who provide many professional courses like on leadership training, management courses, communication courses, and how to lead in a non-for-profit organization. So I am going to, after the election, going to enroll. These are 4 to 6 week courses, and I'll try to enroll as many as I can. Just a comment on Dr. Aftab Khan. I do not understand whether he even has a knowledge of how the organizations are run. That TRO case, which he's a signatory of, that was signed by the Board of Trustees and EC, that was entered into the court. I mean, you cannot back out on a treaty or memorandum of understanding which previous year EC signs than you do. This is not possible. And he, instead of saying thank you to me, he's just complaining about that.
Thank you, Dr. Haroon Durrani. Dr. Shahid Rashid, would you consider that a successful candidate should take a certification course for the management of a nonprofit organization?
I think that, thank you very much. I don't think so this is necessary, because what is necessary that they have to work from the grassroots level through the ranks of the leadership, and that's how they are groomed. And I think that the Dr. Aftab and Dr. Durrani, both of them, they have not served as the secretary and the treasurer. They are just trying to become the president of the organization. This is not going to groom them into the leader they have to be. Like me, I have a track record. I have a track record of successful running my business all across the South Texas. I'm involved in the charitable nonprofit hospital in cancer care hospital in Pakistan. I'm the one who was involved in the creation of this medical center and the medical school here right in McAllen, Texas. So to me is that probably they might need to enroll in those courses, but I don't think so. What it needs is that you have to be involved in the organization and learn how it works, and to learn that how to coexist with each other instead of just trying to fight with each other.
Appreciate it. The next question goes to Dr. Shahid Rashid. To become a board member of a nonprofit organization, what is your understanding of the legal responsibilities, such as if there's a lawsuit filed against any member of the EC, is that considered to be against those EC individuals or against APPNA as a whole?
First and foremost, that we need to understand that what is the role of the Board of Trustees in our Constitution. Board of Trustees is a body which are the custodian of the organization. They don't have any executive power. The executive authority is with the executive committee members, and they are the one who has to run day-to-day affairs of the organization. If there's any lawsuit, if there's anything else, that has to be first addressed within the confines of our executive committee and its related committees. The Board of Trustees are there that they have to make sure that the Constitution and the bylaws are being followed, and not only that we are in compliance with the federal laws and the federal the rules of the organization. So the Board of Trustees has no role in dictating anything to the executive committee what to do and what they have to know. The thing is that the Board of Trustees has their role as a custodian, and the executive committee has its role as the running of the organization. So I don't think so that the Board of Trustees has to be involved in any the litigation resolution process or something. That is our business. We are being elected by the general body. We are there in the office to do that job. And we should know that what we are doing, and that can be done within the organization, within the executive committee confines and then the related committees, not the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Same question goes to Dr. Harun Durrani. Dr. Durrani, to become a board member of a nonprofit organization, what is your understanding of the legal responsibilities? For instance, if a lawsuit is filed against any member of the executive committee, is that considered to be against those individuals of the executive committee or against APPNA as a whole? You have 1 minute.
Well, I think you were talking about board of directors, and Dr. Shahid Rashid talked about board of trustees. If one member, if a lawsuit is filed against one individual person who is representing APPNA, because something as an officer of the organization that person has done, then yes, that is lawsuit against the organization. But the unique thing over here, what happened was that APPNA went and sued APPNA. I mean, how would you resolve that? It has never happened before, and it should. I think the people who were in that leadership position at that time, they should have resolved this matter internally and would not have gone to the court. Their misadventure caused APPNA royally.
Thank you very much. Dr. Aftab Khan, to become a board member of a nonprofit organization, what is your understanding of the legal responsibilities? If a lawsuit is filed against any member of the executive committee, is that considered to be against that executive committee individual member or against APPNA as a whole? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Every not-for-profit organization has a different role assigned to the board of directors and board of trustees. According to our own organization, we need to follow the roles that are assigned to us to run the business of the organization on a daily basis through a communication with the executive committee. I will show you one email that was sent to us by Dr. Shekhani. Please look at this email very carefully. When the president of the organization hire an attorney at a rate of $1,250 an hour to dissolve the organization, let me repeat it. Attorney was hired to dissolve the organization on May 15th. Then the executive committee has no choice to take that individual and discuss with the legal counsel of APPNA and take a temporary restraining orders and stop him from destroying APPNA and dissolving APPNA.
Thank you, Dr. Aftab Khan. The next question goes back to Dr. Harun Durrani. This would be his third and last question. The question, Dr. Haroon Durrani, is that what would you further propose to prohibit negative campaigning, including that on social media, or for that matter, in any other way? How would you work against that?
Yes, I think that currently the social media does not comes under the election and nomination committee. I mean, that is, I think, needs to done because this negative campaigning causes decrease in morale. It makes a mockery of our organization to the outside people. So we need to have a very robust social media policy as well. It needs to come under it. I think we need to go back on the electioneering. It has to significantly decrease. Currently, we have 7 months from nomination to the announcement of the election result. That is too much. It takes a heavy toll on candidates, their families, APPNA members. I mean, we are the supporters. Everyone is right and left. I mean, this is the time when there is most disharmony in APPNA. We don't need that. We need to cut it short. I would say it should not be more than 3 months from the nomination to the announcement of the election process. And there should be minimum to no contact between the voters and the candidates. I mean, why can't we have videos and messages sent through the NEC to the voters, and candidates don't have to make any calls? This will make a lot of lives easy, and it will also decrease electioneering. I want to go back to what Dr. Shahid Rashid said about the grassroots experience he has. Grassroots experience starts from serving your own alumni. I'm the only one among the two who has served his own alumni at every single level, starting from the treasurer to the secretary to the president-elect to the president and board of trustees. None of them did. Even at chapter level, Shahid Rashid is claiming to be the founding member of the chapter, but he has no role in he has never been any member of the executive committee. Aftab Khan was the president of ETS chapter. So that's grassroots. I hope that's what he meant. So I'm more experienced than any of my two candidates. I'll stop here.
Thank you very much. Same question goes to Dr. Aftab Khan. Now, Dr. Aftab Khan, you have 1 minute to respond. What would you further propose to prohibit negative campaigning, including on social media?
Before I go and answer your question, let me answer the question that was raised by Dr. Durrani.
So can you please just answer this question, because we are going by questions, so we don't get rebuttals to other things.
So I think that social media, as I said, everybody has a right to express their opinion, but in cases of APPNA elections, social media should be used very limited. Use of social media should be allowed. APPNA election should be only for 1 month, not for like 6 months. Election and nomination committee should be independent. It should play more role and control over social media. They're doing an excellent job at present time. And I really believe that we should conduct our elections as we do in American Medical Association, American College of Physicians, send over biodata, send over other information that we want to send it to membership, and let it go through either APPNA office or through national or through NEC.
Thank you so much. Dr. Shahid Rashid, the question is, what would you further propose to prohibit negative campaigning, including on social media? 1 minute, please.
The negative campaigning should have a zero tolerance, and I'm against it. And it's very unfortunate that my dear friend, Dr. Haroon Durrani, he and his supporter not only that mutilated the pictures of Dr. Aftab Khan, but his supporters have been involved in releasing the videos from the outside people. That was his friend who has sent the e-blast to all the members about me, that he is not supporting me, he's not endorsing me, rather he's supporting him. It's very unfortunate. The thing is that you cannot put any policies and procedures in place. It is we should have our own character, that how we have to do this campaigning. Now, coming down to the ranks that he is mentioning about, probably he does not know that I was the founding member of the APPNA Foundation. I was the founding member of the APPNA South Central Chapter. I was the board of trustee of South Texas Chapter. I was the one who has been the founding member of the APPNA Medical Corps. I'm the founding member of the APPNA Anesthesia and Pain Society. So my track record is far more than him. He has only served 9 months on the executive committee, and he has not raised a single penny to pay the bills.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. That was the question to Dr. Haroon Durrani. Now I'm moving on to the third and last question to Dr. Aftab Khan. Dr. Aftab Khan, What improvements do you recommend in the functioning of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee of APPNA? 3 minutes, please.
Constitution and Bylaws Committee of APPNA has a very important role to play in the governance of APPNA and how the Constitution and APPNA bylaws are going to be followed during the normal day-to-day governance of APPNA. At present time, if you look at the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, it has very limited and biased role that they play in the daily running of the APPNA by the Executive Committee or the Board of Trustees when they manage the organization as a whole. My proposal is very simple and clear, that it should be independent and free, and it should be appointed or rather elected by the members or the council. President and Board of Executive Committee or Board of Trustees should have no role in electing them or selecting them. They should be elected for 5 years at a time, consist of our senior members who have a lot of respect in the community and among the membership. And we should also have an outside counsel, legal counsel part of this committee, so that if there is any problem or confusion about the bylaws, we can consult them immediately instead that we go and hire other outside consultant, just like Dr. Shekhani did. That is the email, that whenever he has a dispute, he will go to the attorneys, hiring them at $1,200 an hour and asking them different questions. This should not be done. What needs to be done is that independent, free functioning committee elected by council or membership directly for 5 years at a time, no influence from Board of Trustees, no influence from the Executive Committee, let them function. And I'm quite sure once we have an independently functioning committee, a lot of problems will be solved.
Thank you, Dr. Aftab Khan. That was great. 1 minute and 50 seconds. Dr. Haroon Durrani, question is, what improvements do you recommend in the functioning of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee of APPNA? You have 1 minute.
I think when we had this retreat at my home in November of 2019, among the memorandum of understanding which we reached, one was the composition of the Cable Committee, the Constitution Bylaws Committee. 3 members were going to be appointed by each president, president-elect, and past president. And there would be requirement of 7 out of 9 people agreeing to that. So that means that we did not want these things to happen by simple majority, but with consensus. And that is what has been happening. I requested myself to be part of the Cable Committee as well for this purpose, because we are going to take as much time as needed and going to do very detailed process and come up with a constitution and bylaws which will be good for next 25, 30, 40 years. And the only way to do this is that you go by item, line by line, discuss it with council. As many meetings are needed for the council, we should do it, and we should do it with a consensus and do it once for all.
Thank you very much. Less than a minute, that's great. Dr. Shahid Rashid, I will state the question again. What improvements do you recommend in the functioning of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee of APPNA? 1 minute, please.
Thank you. The Constitution and Bylaws Committee has to be an independent. It should not have the members of the Executive Committee in the formation of the Cable Committee. Dr. Haroon Durrani, he is not only the secretary, he is also the part of the Cable Committee, and he's the one who has been asking the voters not to vote on the amendments. And on the other hand, he is the signatory on that document with the 4 Executive Committee members to disenfranchise our members and to reverse those amendments which has been approved by our general body. He himself does not have the concept that how the Cable Committee, how the Constitution and bylaws work. He himself is involved in the violation of those very sacred documents for which he is now being the member of. And I think that, the Executive Committee members should absolutely not be the part of this, the Cable Committee. And I think that if he has any good for the organization, he must resign from that. And because he has a conflict of interest in there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your answer. Dr. Shahid Rashid, now it is your turn to answer the third and last question, and then we will again rotate the 1 minute responses from the other candidates. The question to Dr. Shahid Rashid is, in relation to the candidate's individual election expense, do you think that there should be a financial cap? And what is your opinion on providing an affidavit of expense? You have 3 minutes.
First of all, I don't understand this. It's a nonprofit organization. It is not an organization which is being run, that the candidates are spending the organization's money. To me, there should not be any cap. Everyone should, I think that there are too many the constraints we are putting on the candidates. You just look at that, the AMA, does that require that affidavit? Do they need that this kind of the expense, what they have to do? It is that, how you present. This is how you present yourself and how you present your vision and your goals for the organization. And I do not agree with that there has to be any cap, and I do not agree that there has to be that any way that they have to disclose that the affidavit, because just look at that, there is an affidavit for the candidates that they will not do all those things which are written in the code of conduct, but there is no affidavit for the members, and they're all free to do whatever they want to do that. But I think that this is too much of a control, and it's rather we should spend the time on the governance of this organization. We should try to spend the time that how we could be able to bring the cohesiveness and how we will be able to bring that brotherhood, how we could be able to increase the vision, and how we could be able to make this organization more prosperous, and how we do that. I'm proposing all those things here, but look at that, what they are focusing on. They are here just trying to tarnish each other's images and so forth. To my understand, it is my humble opinion that, that we should not be indulged into this kind of affidavits and all of these extra, the measures and the controls you're just trying to put on the candidates. And I'm against that. And you are free to spend your money, whatever you want to spend. You want to spend $1, you want to spend $10,000, it's all up to you, because this is how you have a way to reach out to your members, to your voters, to do, it's good that the people, they should know you, because you spend your time. You don't want that just be rather confined to one place and not trying to reach out to your members. And I don't agree with that. There has to be any cap and there has to be any affidavit. I'm against it.
Thank you so much. Dr. Harun Durrani, I will state the question again. In relation to the candidate's individual election expense, do you think that there should be a financial cap? And what is your opinion on providing an affidavit of expense?
I think the way I want the election to change the election process is that there should basically be no expenses at all in electioneering. We need to minimize electioneering, and if election nomination committee or cable comes up with some type of affidavit, I'm fine with it. I just want to talk about something Dr. Shahid Rashid said. Dr. Shahid Rashid, I stand by the letter which I wrote. If the people at the helm at that time would have heeded to my advice, we would not be talking about Bari versus APPNA case. That is the problem with that case. And Dr. Aftab Khan, you have flashed few documents. Could you please post it on somewhere so that I can read them and give you a response for that? And the last thing is that Dr. Shahid, okay, the time is up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Aftab Khan, in relation to the candidate's individual election expense, do you think that there should be a financial cap? And what is your opinion on providing an affidavit of expense? 1 minute, please.
I believe in moderation in everything, eating, exercise, and also I believe in moderation in expense on APPNA elections. I think the $3,000 fee that we pay to APPNA office for election is enough. We should send over all documents to APPNA office, and then they should be responsible for sending that via email to APPNA members, and that should be taken care of. Spending extra money, in my personal opinion, can be used on charity projects. I want to rephrase one more time the same thing, that Board of Trustees changes that were approved by membership, voted by membership, can only be reversed by membership. APPNA Executive Committee, especially Dr. Harun Durrani, has no authority. It's a violation of the Constitution of APPNA to reverse that and to give benefit to his friends so that they can benefit in Bari versus APPNA lawsuit. Also giving money to friends, $26,000, $500.
Thank you so much, Dr.
To pay the personal expenses against the violation of APPNA bylaws and Constitution.
Thank you. So these were 3 questions asked to each of the candidates. I think we should wrap up the president-elect debate. And so I will go in reverse order in asking each one of them to give a 2-minute closing statement so that we can then move on to the secretary and subsequently the treasurers. Thank you very much. So starting with Dr. Shahid Rashid, since we go in reverse alphabetical order for the closing statements, Dr. Shahid Rashid, can you please give 2 minutes of closing statements for your candidacy as President-elect of APPNA? Thank you.
My dear APPNA family, we shall rise up and restore APPNA's good name. We shall regroup and reestablish our commitment to our cause. We shall institute strong systems of control, the better to ensure our financial viability, our mission of philanthropy, and our attractiveness to the next upcoming generation of physician leaders. I have held every position within APPNA. I have worked on the development of everything from physician-owned hospitals to the state-of-the-art nonprofit medical institution and hospitals. My proposed initiatives will launch a new era of progress and growth in our association. With me at the helm, working together, we shall revolutionize our organization and emerge as an icon, fit for emulation on the part of others. We will actively participate in and serve our local communities, initiating fresh projects and becoming a productive part of our society. Ever committed to the fights against xenophobia and demagoguery. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the capabilities, we have the resources, and we have the resolve. You have already witnessed my resilience, my commitment, and my optimism in the face of adversity. And I have set my mind upon making this an organization of which we can all be proud. Last but not least, I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I am an independent candidate. Ours is not an organization that can gain from partisanship. For partisanship, by its nature, arranges human beings into fighting factions. I'm a fighter, but I don't live to fight. I live to thrive. I live to heal, and I live to lead. And on this day, I ask with the utmost humility for your continued support, faith, and trust. Please vote for me. I thank you so much. You can reach me at my cell 956-358-5358. For any questions, you can text me. My phones are open. Blessed be APPNA.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shahid Rashid. Dr. Aftab Khan, please give your 2 minutes of closing statements for the position of President-elect of APPNA. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. APPNA is the most vibrant Pakistani physician organization. One of the reasons I have decided to run for APPNA president is to bring everybody on the table. No one should be left behind in an organization that has so much to offer. The stands on principles have paved the way for transparency and accountability in APPNA. I will increase APPNA membership by lowering lifetime membership dues. I will increase APPNA revenue by establishing a dedicated fundraising desk in APPNA office to explore other sources of income. I will establish an APPNA office escrow fund to ensure its continued functioning in the rainy season. I will continue to conduct courses for Pakistani students who are coming from Pakistan for training. We will continue to make more APPNA houses, just like we have in Chicago. We will increase inclusion of US medical graduate communities so that they feel an ownership of APPNA. We will increase our presence in the advocacy committee to streamline the process of J1 visa. We'll end the litigations, the discussion, making changes in the constitution so that no one can sue APPNA in the future. As far as cancelling of the membership is considered, that cannot be done by one individual. That will be done by me with the proper change in the constitution and with the membership vote. Because my take on it is that we have talked to multiple membership members and everybody wants that law should be stopped. They want everybody to sign a paper that if they want to be part of APPNA, they will not sue APPNA in the future. End of the day, it doesn't matter what you have achieved. What matters is what you have given to the community, what you have given to the people that you live with. My friends, this is only election. It doesn't matter who wins. If Dr. Harun Durrani wins, or Dr. Shahid Rashid wins, I will continue to work with them as my friends, and I will continue to serve APPNA.
Thank you, Dr.
May God bless you, APPNA, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your words. Thank you for the closing statement. Dr. Harun Durrani, you have 2 minutes to give your closing statements for the position of President-elect of APPNA for 2021. Thank you.
My fellow APPNA members, these are unprecedented times and need unprecedented actions. APPNA is at a crossroad it has never been before. It needs a leader who has the vision to look beyond the fog of confusion and has the wherewithal to take the membership along with him. We had been through our worst infighting, which has left us fractured and financially wounded. And just when we were about to get the pieces together, a pandemic of historic proportions hit us along with everybody else. Our plans to recover our financial downfall has been squashed by new realities, and we are living today. You have a choice to make. You have to choose your leader who is able to take you out of this quagmire, who is able to think out of the box, who is not consumed by infighting and settling past scores, who is a unifier and not a divider, who is able to rise above the fray, who has the track record to show his potential to deliver. I firmly believe that anyone who files a lawsuit in APPNA does not deserve to lead it. Anyone who avoids dialogue and walks out of the council meeting does not deserve to preside it. Most humbly, I present myself for APPNA President-elect 2021, and I am not the only choice, but you will find your best choice in me. I take pride in starting the resolution journey from my home and thank my fellow leader to stand by me bringing APPNA together. Our EC and membership is much more cordial and many of our wounds are already mended. Do not let me stop here. Show your confidence in me and let me be your next leader. I just want to say one word. Last time the membership overwhelmingly elected me to resolve the lawsuits. It is not the requirement of cable that we have to get permission from the general body. It is very surprising that to file a lawsuit, the executive committee can do that, not even going to the council or general body. But to resolve it, I need permission from the general body. To resolve it and save APPNA from financial bleeding, I need a permission from that. I will continue to keep my promises, and that is a promise. God bless APPNA. God bless USA.
Thank you so much. This was the closing statements from the 3 president-elect candidates for the year 2021. I thank them for coming on live and giving us these answers and for being subjected to these questions. I appreciate your patience with me too. I'm kind of going back and forth between the stopwatch and the screen, but thank you very much for your patience. I wish you the best of luck. You're all wonderful people, and inshallah, I hope whoever is best for APPNA is elected. Thank you so much.